Hello, I'm Vada.
Hey, what up? I'm Roxy.
Did you forget who you were for a sec? I was like, hey, what's up? Where the fuck did that come from? Hey, I'm Roxy.
Roxy, I think
That
today,
that
right?
could be that could be a sign of a mental thing, you know? That could be a mental thing we got going on. Speaking of mental things, guess what our show's about today? We're going to be jumping into a few mental things. Actually, so yeah, the show literally is about mental things. So today on the show, just jumping into it, because it's such an exciting topic. And, I'm going to let Roxy gush over her favorite one today.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah. We're going to be dealing with women serial killers. These are women who go out and kill cereal boxes on a regular day. Captain Crunch, you know, some Cocoa Puffs, Lucky from Lucky Charms, whatever happened to him? I think these are questions that are begged to be answered.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. Serial killers, women who actually fuck people up for various
Mhm.
reasons. Now, let's go into a little interesting tidbit about female serial killers. Female serial killers are actually harder to detect than male serial killers. Part of that is because of their motivations and their needs and why they're killing. Everyone has a reason why they're killing, and you see it more predominantly with male serial killers. Like they're killing for a specific reason or purpose. Um, Female serial killers, not all of them, but the majority of them kill out of necessity. So there's
Mhm.
normally like something happening where like, they're involved with somebody and then the money runs out and then they kill them off type of thing because there's no need for them anymore. Or they are like they got what was in the bank account or it's a place to live and they got them to sign it over and then kill them type of situation. So you got serial killers. So the
Or it was self-defense.
Yes, I'll let you tell that one. Oreo self-defense multiple times, self-defense as a serial.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
there was that. But the whole thing is that female serial killers have different modes than what male serial killers do. So that's why female serial killers tend to be a big deal when you find one because like oh my god like wow where did you come from they're kind of more under the radar than what male serial killers are because it's clear what and like unlike women, men will even know and say why they did it, and women are just like, "Oh my God, you should know why I killed you.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna kill
I'm
you.
going to fucking kill you." And see, and then she's gonna be killing me. I'll be like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "You should know why." I was like,
Oh, you know why.
"You know why."
Shut up, you know why. No, like
The bad thing is, in this case, I probably would know why. Like, yeah, I knew it was
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I do.
Yeah, I get it. So, jumping into it, let's do what I do and share screen with you. I had someone tell me from our last show that I shouldn't sing anymore.
I told you you were singing too much.
Whatever.
I
I'm
told
a
you we're gonna lose all of our listeners
national
because of your
treasure
singing.
here. All
Whatever.
right. So let's do it. Let's get into my emails are clearly going to come up first, but let's not get in there. Let's jump into Reddit. Oh no, I'm sorry, Reddit got clearly BuzzFeed. So we're using a BuzzFeed article called 21 Female Serial Killers. And this was posted May 2023. So it's, a year old. May 7th, 2020. Written by Crystal Rowe, BuzzFeed staff. She is cute. That is the only reason I selected this article is because she is cute. Because why else would you select a BuzzFeed article?
I
I
mean,
mean,
not for the actual
no,
article,
no, in no way.
not at all. Not for
You
the
know,
contents at all.
but she is cute. So anyway, uh, So, 21 female serial killer stories. I don't recommend you read late at night. That is too long of a title.
That is a very, very long title.
hmm So let's jump into it. Number one, Nanny Doss, aka Giggling Granny. She
Giggling Granny.
Giggling Granny. So she was a serial killer between the 20s and the 50s. That's a good long fucking period to be going
That
out. You
is,
know, like
dang.
that's fucking 30 years of just murder here. Let's see. It's also known as the Lonely Hearts Killer, who was responsible for the death of at least a dozen people between uh 1920 and 1950s, including four husbands, two
Hmm.
children, and other family members. Wow, that's wow.
Kids too? Shit.
Just killing off her own family there. According to the Mesquite Phoenix, she confessed to only killing her four husbands. That's all. That's all.
Just the four
Just
husbands.
the four. Um, ex After, exhuming, revealed that she had killed at least 12 family members, which she blamed on a childhood head injury. Journalists
Mm.
called her Giggling Granny because she laughed whenever she told how she killed her husbands. Oh my God. Yeah, that's interesting.
All right.
So altogether, from this, that's about 16 people she killed. Uh, so, huh, interesting. Four of them her husbands. And for some reason, a stupid ad has popped up on our screen. Scrolling down, a lady whose name I cannot pronounce, and there's an arrow pointed to her. Roxy, you want to take a crack at that name?
Mayuki Ish, is that an I? Ish
Yes,
Ishlakwa?
something like that. Let's just kind of wow.
Mayuki Ishlakwa? Ishkawawa?
AKA the
The
demon
demon wife.
midwife.
Ooh.
So she is apparently, I can only imagine where this is going. So, Midwife, who was charged with murdering many infants, possibly even
Oh,
over, wow, 100, throughout, well, purposeful neglect. That's not a good way to die. So that meant that you did
no,
not
at
die
all.
quickly.
That's awful.
Her crimes are committed with, an accomplice during the 1940s in post-World War II Japan.
Wow.
That actually looks like Emperor Hiroshita. Uh, I could be wrong there, probably. While the story is complicated, her crimes related to poverty, struggles, people in Japan faced after the war, according to All That's Interesting, that's the name of the actual thing. When she was finally apprehended, her death toll was so high that oh my goodness, what is up with
That ad.
stupid ad? It's not even like coming up properly. So uh just messing with my stuff here. It's not even giving me the damn ad either, piece of shit.
No.
But death toll was so high that to this day she remains the most prolific serial killer in Japanese history and one of the most prolific female serial killers in the world. Well, there you go. There you go. Like
Mm.
breaking goals,
Mhm,
breaking records. Who says women can't reach the glass ceiling?
mhm.
Oh, this one, I'm not even going to talk. Roxy, knock yourself the fuck out on this one. This is like this is Roxy's best friend and
Best friend. I just was really
whatever.
interested in her and her story.
It just constantly Eileen Wuornos, Eileen. That's all I hear from
My
this woman.
favorite serial killer.
Like she
Yeah.
calls her a favorite serial killer, but she's like, she's not a serial killer. And I was like, whatever, Roxy.
She was the self-defender.
Yeah, it's a self-defender like 17 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my God. So have at it,
all.
Roxy. Tell me about Eileen Wuornos.
I think I saw something that she has the same birthday as Richard Ramirez.
Yeah, makes sense. Why not?
I was like, no way.
So Eileen Wuornos,
So,
aka the Damsel of Death, a serial killer who murdered and robbed six men and possibly a seventh while doing sex work in Florida from 1989 to 1990. Yeah, she's totally innocent, Roxy. According to CNN, Wuornos claimed she acted in self-defense. There's Roxy's favorite. I think if Roxy ever becomes a serial killer, that's gonna be her fucking. It was self-defense 18 different
self-defense.
times. I'm constantly in danger. Um, that she would acted in self-defense. However, Sergeant Bob Kelly of the Volusia County Sheriff's Department, who investigated the case, later said after she was convicted of the first murder of Richard Malroy, she then pled guilty to the others. And after a certain point in time, she started to recant and say she wasn't a victim. She simply robbed and killed those men to gain their personal property and to gain money. Wuornos was executed October 9th, 2022.
Be a lethal injection.
So much of that self-defense excuse you like
Yeah.
so much, Roxy. They're like her
Well,
favorite
clearly she was
fucking
like
killer.
I think they were saying that she was kind of schizophrenic because I think her dad was or something. So one of her parents was schizophrenic.
I can dig that.
And so they said that she was so I did see some stuff on her where she was like she was talking to one of the journalists and was like
Mm.
recanting all of her stories. And she was like, I know I just did it because, I needed the money and I was hooking and this and I was like, oh, well,
Yeah, there you go.
there you go.
Number four, Belly or Bella? Belly.
Bell. It's just Bell.
Bell with an E at the end.
Hmm.
Bell Gunness. Gunness. A Norwegian American serial killer active in Illinois in and Indiana, so she moved around from 1884 to 1908. Ooh, we're talking early shit.
That it
Wow.
is real early.
Suspected of killing up to 15 men for insurance.
Woo!
Damn, insurance fraud even back then.
Yeah, even in the
My
1800s.
God, how long has the insurance industry been
Dang.
fucking us? I was
Gee.
like, my God, they've been fucking us for the insurance industry's been fucking us for a while
For a
here.
while.
Like, damn. So, her children died in a house fire, Jesus, in
That I'm sure
nineteen oh eight.
she
Yeah,
said.
yeah, that's just insurance. And it's unclear if the body of a woman found with them was Belle.
Hmm.
According to All That's Interesting, Gan Ganesh had a system after murdering her two husbands. The Norwegian American woman posted ads in the paper looking for men to invest in her farm. Fellow Norwegian Americans flocked to her property, hoping for a taste of home, along with a solid business opportunity. She also posted ads in lovelorn columns to attract wealthy bachelors to lure her last victim.
Mm.
Ganesh wrote, "My heart beats in wild rapture for you." Ooh, that's actually a good pickup.
Ooh.
I know what line
Hold on,
I'm
hold on.
using
Where's
at
my
the
notepad?
I, I know what my next line at the bar is.
I'm like, hold on. I don't have my notepad. Let me type this in here.
Mhm. That
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 is
that serial killer shit
good.
right there.
Ooh,
My Andrew, I love you. Come prepared to stay forever. Yeah, so
man.
this might be worth looking further into.
Yeah.
And so she probably lived. She probably killed some other woman, put him next to the kids, because how were
Right.
they going to know back then? And she's
Right.
just
It's not
living
like
the
they
high
could
life, you know.
right. There's no phone.
This one, number five, kind of a not a personal favorite, but someone that when my dad was a journalist covered back in the day. So personal connection here. Um, Number five, Sarah Maria Albreri, aka La Madrina. For those of you who don't know, La Madrina is a godmother. A convicted serial killer who also ran a drug smuggling and human sacrifice cult with a
Ooh,
man named Alfonso Costanzo. I think I said
Rodolfo.
Adolfo. I said Adolfo, right?
No, you said Alfonso.
Oh, I'm sorry. Adolfo I can't pronounce this last name.
Constanzo.
Constanzo in Mexico during the 80s. According to the San Francisco Gazette, all her victims, except for Mark Kilroy, a college student, were from Mexico. They were slaughtered in what police said were satanic rituals involving candles, machetes, and chants. Now, the reason I know this so well is because the Mark Kilroy murder was a big deal growing up in the 80s. And they sent my dad, I want to say he was with the Houston Post at the time, to cover that down in Mexico, and he
Mm.
actually got to see the body of Mark Kilroy.
Oh, wow.
So they had offered for him to take photos of the body, but he didn't do it because they won't run it in American newspapers. Later on, found out they told him that he should have because European newspapers would have paid him a lot of money for those photos.
Dang.
So, but my dad, being a man of ethics at that time,
Yeah.
did not do it. But I remember this vividly, and I remember them also talking about how she made a necklace out of Mark Kilroy's teeth. That wasn't an exaggeration. She actually did that. And the
Jeez.
reason she had picked Mark Kilroy is because she thought he was pretty. Mark Kilroy was apparently an attractive, blonde hair, blue-eyed white guy, partying it up in Mexico during spring break. That's when all that
Hmm.
happened. So yeah, a little some there.
Huh?
Um, Number six, Amy Archer Gilligan. I bet they weren't stranded on an island. A serial killer who also ran a nursing home, murdered at least five people by poisoning them with Windsor Connecticut during in Windsor, Connecticut during the early 1900s, another much older one. According to the New York Times, in 1916, Miss Gilligan was arrested. State police, after an investigation, concluded that she had I like that, shortened the lives of up to 2 dozen or so men by poisoning them with arsenic. Did you hear that? She shortened their life, Roxy. Just
Shorten them.
uh-huh. Miss Gilligan and her trial in the 1917, after many bodies had been exhumed, rocked the state.
Hmm.
Oh, look at all these just talented women, Roxy.
Oh.
I know, as Roxy just goes
I
to.
was looking up Mark Kilroy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I wanted to see what he looked like.
And what does he look like? Blonde
He,
hair, blue eyed.
oh, you can't really, hold on, let me see. You can't really see his eyes too much. Yeah, I
Back
guess they're kind of blue.
back then it was yeah, back then we didn't have digital photography like we do now.
Right.
You had to
That's
get it on
fun.
film. Yep, but that's Mark Kilroy there. Christine Gilbert, a former nurse who worked at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Northampton, Massachusetts in the late 80s. She was
Ooh.
convicted of 4 murders and 2 attempted murders on patients.
Wow.
Wow. So far, no one's numbers have really impressed me like that lady from
Right.
Japan so far. Like, these are kind of underwhelming stats, if you ask me. Uh, but hey, who am I, right? Uh, who am I to judge this? Over time, her coworkers grew suspicious when they realized the deaths of her patients also coincided with a noticeable shortage of epinephrine. How I can pronounce that word and not that guy's last name is beyond me. My dyslexia is picky, people. Rumors start rumors started to go around about her and Gilbert Sohn quit after an investigation and trial. She was convicted of first-degree murder of 3 veterans, second-degree murder of a fourth, and attempted murder of 2 more. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stacy Castor, a convicted murderer from Weedsport, New York. Weedsport. I've never heard of
Weed sport.
Weedsport.
Weed sport.
Weedsport, New York. Sounds like a town Roxy would want to live in.
Yes.
See if you're like, is this the port where it all comes through?
All right, is this the part of we get
Oh my God, where is it?
it?
So Weedsport, New York, who killed her husband with antifreeze. Damn.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about this chick.
Yeah, attempted to kill her daughter with crushed pills mixed into a drink, and was also suspected of killing her first husband in the 2000s.
Mm,
Antifreeze is such a fucked up way to go, though.
yeah, for real.
Astor's case became so widespread in the national news, that there was even a special 2-hour edition of ABC's 2020 about it in 2009.
Wow.
I don't know if I'd count two as a serial killer, but to be honest, that they Gaines, he only really got 2 of them and was just creepy, and he's considered a serial killer, so. What do I
Oh my
fucking
God.
know? Dorothea Punetti. I won't play too much with that word. Uh, oh my God, her, I remember. They have a special on her. You can find it on Netflix. This was a little old lady who had a boarding house and would kill elderly men who had no family. And she also killed men who really didn't have much of a family who had special needs. Actually, that was her downfall. She had killed a man, a Hispanic man, who he was um borderline mentally challenged. Let's say that. I can't say the actual word because I know there's a stigma with it, but he was diagnosed with the R word, which
Mm,
is different than autism, people. So like, before you start sending
mhm.
me emails. So he was diagnosed with that, and this state worker had got him into this home, and she regrets it because she really did care about him and would go and check up on him, and then he ends up missing. The police go over there. They excavate her backyard. No, they found like a buttload of bodies. And like she ran off, tried to escape in California. They caught her in California, brought her back. She was a whore. She would make other men who lived in the house, she would force them to them help her bury them because she was
Wow.
elderly, and she would threaten them in order to do it. So wow, it was insane. She was charged with a total of 9 murders and convicted of 3 of those. She received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole and died in prison in Chowchilla, whatever. Chowchilla? Chowchilla. Why do we have names like this here, America? Why?
Uh-huh.
Chowchilla. but I can say
Cappuccino?
epinephrine without a problem.
I know, right?
On March 27th, 2011, from natural causes. The
Mhm.
natural causes was a stomping, probably.
Right.
Mary Beth Tinging. Mary Beth Ting. Wow, she looks like a man.
Kidding.
Doesn't she look like a man? She looks like a
Kind
man.
of.
Like that looks like a hardcore man right there. Uh, wow, this involves 9 children. Okay. Mary Beth, whose 9 children died suspiciously under her care in New York during the 1970s. It is believed that she probably killed them. It is believed that she poisoned them over a span of several years before being caught. She managed to convince people her children had died of different things like acute meningitis, seizures, cardiac arrest, sudden infant death syndrome. Jesus Christ, acute
Damn.
pneumonia, eb- acute pulmonary edema, and bronchial pneumonia. My dyslexic likes to fuck with me. That's all I can say. According to the Associated Press, under questions by state police investigators in early 1986, she admitted to something the girl's her ninth child, Tammy Lynn, as she as well as two of her sons. Prosecutors indicted her for the 3 deaths, with the lone conviction coming in the case of Tammy Lynn's killing. What a psychopath.
Hmm.
We're going way, way back. Ooh, way
Ooh.
back. Way.
Oh, yeah.
Roxy has a hard on for this one. Here we go. See that face that Roxy's making? Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian countess who is believed to have tortured and killed hundreds of young women in the 16th and 17th century. The lore is that the countess thought bathing in her victims' virginal blood would give her eternal youth. She
Mm-hmm.
does look pretty young in this painting.
Right.
Uh, according to National Geographic, some witnesses, oh my God,
There's that dang hot pot
why,
again.
why does this, I'm going to just click on it. There we go. Oh, damn it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, according to some witnesses, estimated her body count to be more than 600. Yet the Countess was never convicted, no kidding, and her husband could not be prosecuted from his grave. Instead, 4 of the Bathory servants were convicted of violence against women in her cat. Wow, they got the servants, didn't get. But that back then you didn't get royalty like that. They were free to do fucked up shit like that. So this is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like not it's like Vlad the Impaler. No one convicted that man for what he did. He just fucking did it, you know?
Yeah.
Like so ew, she looks scary as fuck. Huh. Myra
Mhm.
Headley, and we'll stop with her. She's number 12, was called the most evil woman in Britain in the press for her involvement in killing 5 children with her partner,
Dang.
Ian Brady, in the 1960s.
Ian.
According to the BBC News,
Ian Brady.
Ian Bradley, and uh, Brady and Myra Hindley tortured, sexually assaulted, and murdered 5 youngsters in 1963 through
Mm.
1965, burying 4 of them on Saddleworth Moor, an area in northwest England. Wow, the more you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
It's
my,
crazy. Like all these women are just like killing either their husbands or kids.
yeah, it's like, that's pretty bad. I'm just scrolling through this for any of our viewers who want to kind of check it out later.
Wait,
Uh,
what did you
which one? This one?
do?
Rosemary West? Of course. Why would we ever know what Rosemary West
Her.
do? Because there's a stupid ad blocking us. BuzzFeed, get your shit together. This is why people don't read you. So Mary Rose West, a serial killer in England, again, murdered,
Dang.
sexually assaulted, and tortured at least 9 women, possibly
Hmm.
more, along with her husband, Fred.
Against your own kind.
Yep,
Mm-mm-mm.
Fred.
Shameful.
From 1973 to 1987, according to Sky News, many of the West's victims who were all young women, were found buried in the cellar or garden of their house. Fred
Wow.
died by suicide in prison in 1995, while Rosemary remains in prison in Yorkshire serving a life sentence. Wow,
Wow.
still kicking it. Wow.
Wow.
Good for her for staying alive so far. Um, a baby farmer? What the fuck?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do this one. Amelia Dyer, a baby farmer, framer, sorry. No,
No,
farmer.
farmer, you're right.
Yeah, I was like, am I reading that wrong? A baby farmer. What the fuck's a baby farmer? Turned serial killer in England who adopted and then murdered many children over a 30-year period in the late 1800s. According to the BBC News, recently widowed and with a daughter to support, she learned of the practice of baby farming from a colleague in 1869. She began advertising in local papers. Married couples with no family would adopt healthy children. Wow. Nice country home, terms £10, but instead of providing a safe and loving home, she would instead take the children for a fee and murder them, either by starving them, drugging them with an opioid-laced Cortisol known as mother's
Awful.
friend, or by strangulation. Wow. Huh. Cray cray.
That is cray.
That's one I've never heard of her
Me
before. I'm gonna
neither.
have to like definitely check more of her out. Wow. But
No.
anyway, this looks like something that would be Roxy's next favorite, right?
Eh.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we'll stop that there.
Just 'cause it's stabby.
Stabbies anyway. So, if maybe you have a better serial killer list, or maybe you've heard of a female serial killer that maybe we haven't, that we would love to know about,
Yeah.
especially Roxy, definitely let us know on our social medias here on the VCR Show, which is going to be thevcrshow at gmail.com. Or check out our website, thevcrshow.com, our YouTube, The VCR Show, and our social media handles at The VCR Show. And you can also send your loving psychopath request to Roxy and her social medias, which are,
Facebook at Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at PopRox428, and on TikTok at ThePoprox. And Poprox is spelled Poproxx.
yeah, that is right. I'm sorry, my brain farted. I was spelling it wrong in my
Like,
head.
you
And I was
okay?
like, wait a minute, that's not right. I was like, no, that's right. I've had a day, people. I've had a hell of a day. So until next time, I'm Vada,
And I'm Roxy.
and stay safe.
Yes. Stay
Definitely.
safe.
Yeah, because that's crazy shit right there.
Woo. Stay away from
Oh,
the crazies.
that is for sure. That is for sure.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vara and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vara with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow@gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at the VCR Show. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show song is Attic by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library.